Hi. First of all, let me get the elephant out of the room. I've been gone for a long time. I'm sorry, okay? I've been lazy. Forgive me. This time I promise I'm gonna upload more. I fucking promise, okay? Or God help me, I'll fucking kill myself. Enough about my incompetence. Let's talk about the figure. Painting and sculpting on this figure is great. Figma already does a great job in that department, but here Visually went a little bit beyond. There are a lot of subtle details on this thing that show that the people who made this really cared about what they were making. And I do mean a lot. Here's a quick little rundown of everything. These earrings that are on both sides of his head, sculpted detail on his gauntlet and the back of the boots, gold paint and more detail on his pouches, and wrinkles and seam lines on his tunic. And I'm not that mad about this. I mean, don't get me wrong, I wish it weren't there, but I've had this figure for a few years now, so it makes sense that some paint would come off. And besides, the rest of the figure looks so good, splitting hairs over one little paint chip is not worth it. Besides, there's plenty to love about this figure, like the head sculpt, which looks fantastic by the way. It's the perfect mix between masculine and feminine, like Link should be. And it's making me feel a certain type of way, is that just me? While we're on the topic of the head sculpt, a little warning, the ears and hat are really fucking sharp, so be careful when you're handling this thing. Enough about that. He comes with a lot of accessories, by the way, like a shit ton. Different face sculpts is a must-have when it comes to any Figma. We get this growling face and this straight-up screaming face, which does look really good, but a part of me wishes it was a little more intense. And of course, we can't forget about alternate hands as well. Fisted hands, spread open hands, grabby hands, to grab the shield and master sword. Painting and sculpting on these things look fantastic, especially on the sheath of the master sword. This thing looks so good, but I wish it was a little brighter gold. Fucking hell, I do so much bitching on the show. But here's the master sword outside of the sheath, and god damn, this thing is so fucking cool. I have no idea what to use to paint the blade, but whatever it was, I love it. And I love the shade of gold to use for it too. The perfect shade. So what do you guys say we have him hold these things, why don't we? Okay. Before any of you guys call me a ripoff and all that stuff, you're right. But watch this.
Bonnie Blacksmith with $1 through the stream elements. Hey Jobby, I'm making a Figma Link review and I was wondering if I could use your transformation music while I'm armoring him up. Same. This is the thing about that transformation song. Dispersion relation. It ain't my song. It's royalty free. Anyone can use that song. Go ahead and use it.
Cry about it in the comments, you fucking nerds. He looks great with weapons in hand. It's kind of hard to make Link not look cool with his sword and shield. And since this Link is a pretty beefy guy, the Master Sword being giant suits him pretty well. Oh, and he can hold on his back. Not without a fight, though. I don't know why, but putting the sword and shield on his back is a giant pain in the ass. And the included stand doesn't help. Sometimes it bumps the bottom of the shield and the whole thing comes flying off the peg. But it does look pretty cool to have it on his back. Now, if this were the normal version of this figure, this would be the end of the accessory segment, but no, we got the deluxe version, so we got plenty more to talk about. Let's get the lamest one out of the way first, the Ordon sword, the one you start the game off with. It does look really good, the painting and sculpting is nice like the rest of the stuff, but when are you going to use this over the Master Sword? Never, that's when. He also comes with a special pair of grabbing hands to hold the bow and arrow. And unlike plugging the sword and shield to his back, this isn't a giant pain in the ass. Out of all the accessories that he comes with, this has to be my favorite. He looks so cool with these in hand. And thanks to the included stand, you can get way more poses than him just standing there ready to shoot. Like sniping bitches, but what the fuck is he wearing? This thing is called the Hawkeye. It was an in-game item that allowed you to snipe your enemies from afar. God damn it. And plugging this thing is super complicated, so pay attention. I wish you best of luck trying to get this thing plugged in. First, next accessory comes with the fuck is it? Claw shot. It's the claw shot. It's basically the hook shot, but it's way cooler. And in my personal opinion, this is where the painting truly shines. I mean, god damn, this thing looks like it's made out of metal, but it's not. It's just really well painted. No surface of this thing is left neglected. It's so fucking good looking. I just want to... And getting it to open is super simple. All you gotta do is just get the totally separate piece. God damn it. Unfortunately, this thing does not have hinge joints to open it. What you gotta do is you gotta take this out, take the chain part here and plug it into the hole, and that's basically it. And before any of you say that I forgot, no, I did not forget that you could plug the open part to the main body without the chain. It's just, I don't feel like doing it because it's a giant pain in the ass to get back out. Sorry, but I just don't feel like it. Moving on from that, this thing looks really good. The paint here is just as good as it is in the closed version, which is to say, perfect. One thing that isn't perfect, however, is the length of the chain. I mean, I like that it's long, but it's way too long. Can't even fit in my light box. But this thing does look really cool, so I'll stop being a little bitch. And finally, he comes with... a ball and chain. Pending something's good, yada yada. You already heard me say it, who gives a fuck? This thing is fucking pokey and it hurts. And it comes with a metal chain, too. It's also worth mentioning that the hookshot chain is also made of metal, and this thing is pretty damn heavy for its size. Let's have him hold it. It does look cool on the ground, but it would look even better if it was up in the air. That's where the second stand comes in. Just as a little warning, be very gentle when plugging this thing in. Just listen to it creak. Thankfully, while this thing is heavy, it's not so heavy that the stand can't handle its weight. And that's all its accessories. All that's left to talk about is the sweet posability. We have a standard Figma head joint along with a swivel and hinge joint at the cap. His arms are a little more complicated than standard Figma. They can move out pretty far, they can shift, and they're also on a ball joint. But sometimes you misalign the arms and the ball joint gets stuck and you gotta fuck around with it like I just did. Give me a sec. Now that we got that fixed, he's got a butterfly joint as well. He's got a bicep swivel and a bend at the elbow. His wrist can move left to right, they can swivel, and they can move up and down if you rotate the peg. Ball jointed chest, ball jointed waist, and ball jointed hips. Got a bend at the knee. His ankle can move up and down. It can pivot, and it's got a toe bend too. What seems to be a trend for this figure is that the posability is way better than the average Figma figure. Another thing that's also way better than the average Figma figure is his height. Here he is next to Figma Marakaname, Figma Mami Tomoe, Figma Homorakame, Figma Saikameki, Figma Kyoko Sakura, and Mayfix Spider-Man, who is my other favorite figure right now. Closing thoughts. This figure is really good. I'd recommend it to anyone who's a fan of Zelda and Twilight Princess specifically, if you can find it for a good price. He's not really being sold anymore, so aftermarket price is fucking crazy. But this figure's so good that I'd honestly spend that much on it. And because I love this thing so much, I'm gonna do something a little special for him. Something I've never done before. Picture time.